Today we're looking at a really unique wireless microphone kit because it has a lot of different ways that you can interact with it. This is the Shure MoveMic, but more accurately, we're looking at the Shure MoveMic 2 Plus receiver kit in the box. And let's just take a second to give it up for the packaging on this one. It's one of the nicer packages I've unboxed in quite some time. You get a carrying case for the MoveMic and all its accessories. You get the MoveMic 2, both microphones are in this rechargeable case. You get the receiver. You get 2 snap-on windscreens. You get 2 small USB-C to USB-C cables, a small TRS to TRS cable, and the documentation. So here's one of the Shure MoveMics in question, and you can see it's very tiny, just the size of a large bug, I guess, which also makes it very discreet. And something that I like that they did, their logo is on this, but it's not so bright and prevalent that it's an advertisement on your chest. You can see that it's Shure, and that's all that really matters. But what's most unique about this little guy is that this receiver is not required to actually work it. This can connect directly to your phone through Shure's Motive or Motive Video apps. In the applications, you'll be able to pair directly to the microphone, but it's worth noting that it'll only work if you're recording within those apps. So if you just turn on the video on your camera and start going, the app won't be connected. It'll be using the native microphone. To pair with your phone, all you have to do is hold down the button for 6 seconds until the lights are flashing red and blue, and it should be recognized immediately. You can pair both mics on the app, and then you can record by having each mic take up a different channel of audio, or you could put them both together and they'll both appear in the stereo mix. So we're looking in the Motive Video app right now, and it gives you a lot of different settings, so you can actually see what the battery life of the phone is, but you can also see on the bottom the battery life of the microphone, as well as its gain. To add a microphone, all you have to do is click this little add mic on the top right here. Now we already have the first mic connected, so let's connect the second one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down the button for 6 seconds. That's going to turn on the microphone and then activate pairing mode. And you can see it's already found it. And now all I have to do is click. And it's been connected. It's that fast. So now I've set up the second microphone, and you can see I can see the statuses on both of them. Now if I click on the gear for the settings, it brings up a lot of generic stuff, so you can actually set your video quality here, you can set up face detection, you could change the names of your microphones, you could do firmware updates, all that usual stuff. But now if we go back, and then you click where the mic and the wrench are, that's the settings for the actual devices. So you can see right now, I have the MoveMic Lav 2 actually selected. And then down here, we have all of its information. You can go to lock settings, which is nice, so you can't accidentally change anything once you're happy with it. We've got our mic gain here, so we can just drag that around. You can go all the way up to 60 dB of gain. I can tell you from experience that that's too much. I'm gonna go down to about 16, I think. 17 is good because I'm not doing it again. You can also mute each individual mic from here just by tapping on it, and then you can unmute it. You can also do that by actually clicking the power button on the side just with a single click. You can set up presets for all the settings below, which will be good if you're using multiple different people to do this. And then down here we have some simple modes. So you have speech mode, music mode, and flat mode, and those are presets that'll just set up the things below here. But of course you can customize anything you want. You can turn the noise reduction on or off individually between the microphones. I'll do a little test of that later. Then you've got a compressor. Again, it's a very simplistic compressor. I like to see something a little bit better than this, but it's better than nothing. I'm going to set to a medium compression for here just to see how it sounds. And then you have a high pass filter that'll do 75 hertz or 150 hertz. And underneath that, you've got an equalizer. So you can actually set this up any way you want, and just by dragging on the individual nodes. If you click identify, it's just going to vibrate and set the LEDs off on that microphone so you know which one is which. And then if you see that I jump over to the other microphone, it has its own set of settings, and you can set those up any which way you choose. And it's worth noting that the kit I bought is not the only one you can get. You can actually get a kit with only one MoveMic in it if that's all you're going to do. If you're never going to be paired up with another person, then you could do this. Or you could get the 2-mic kit, which I would recommend anyways because it's nice to have a backup in case something happens, if one breaks or anything like that. Or if you're doing a project with multiple people, you're going to need it anyways. But that's all you need to connect just to your phone the way we did it. Now, if you don't want to connect via their application, you do have other options, and that is when this receiver pops into play. So to connect to the receiver, you do the exact same thing that you did on the phone. Click on Connect New Mic, and as long as you're in pairing mode, it'll show up, and you just have to click in on the little joystick here, and it'll select it. Now, from inside the receiver, you have all the same controls that you had in the phone. All you have to do is go under and find the device you're looking for, click on it, and then you've got your gain and mute. Under audio effects, you're going to find the mode. So that was how we had speech mode set up. Whether or not you want the noise reduction on, the high pass filter, and your compressor, as well as your equalizer. Under LED, it's just to turn the LEDs on or off on the microphone while you're recording. And then just like on your phone, you can identify which mic is which. Clicking X backs out of any menu. You go into output settings. So it has output settings for your headphone, your camera, and your USB. So you can set them all up differently. So for example, on your headphone, you can have it so one microphone's going into your left ear, one's going into your your right or to have them mixed. And you have the same options on your camera. You have the mixing that you can set up. You have the output level that's going to the camera. And then you actually have a safety track. So if you're only recording using one microphone, it'll take the second channel and then give you a backed off version of the exact same audio, which is good because if you set the gain a little too high, you don't want to ruin entire bits of footage just because of that. And then under USB, you have just the options of one on left channel, one on right channel, or a stereo mix. Under monitoring, you can set up the volume to what's going to your headphones, and then you can also set up the inputs. Under display settings, you can turn the LED on or off that's just above the MoveMic symbol, and you could adjust your screen brightness. Factory reset, I mean, that's pretty obvious what that does. And then in about, it'll give you a lot of information in terms of firmware and everything else. When you look at the monitor in action, you'll be able to see both microphones and their levels as they go. You can see the connection power on the left of where it says MoveMic, and then on the right, you can see the battery life of the microphone and the set gain. On the top right, you can see the battery for the receiver itself. So to hook this up to your phone, all you have to do is plug the USB-C cable into this input right here, and then plug the other end directly into your phone. As soon as you hit record in your camera app, you'll see that it says that it's using an external mic to record. To hook it up to your camera, you take the TRS cable and you plug it into where it says out here, and then plug the other end into the mic input to your camera, and again, it should take care of everything automatically for you. You'll notice there's also a headphone jack on the side so that you can hear what's going on with the microphone, or if you have a camera operator or something, they can hear it for you. So we've sat inside talking about this thing enough. I took this thing outside for a little bit of a spin. Let's have a look. And I couldn't have chosen a better place to do this noise reduction test other than downtown Toronto in the middle of rush hour. We've got cars bustling, there's a bus behind me. So right now you're hearing the actual microphone that has noise reduction turned off. So you're hearing all of this noise and stuff. Now let's switch over to the other one. Now I'm expecting we're going to hear some improvement. I'm really looking forward to hearing what this sounds like so I can actually, put forth an opinion on it. But let's just do another comparison. So with the noise reduction off and with the noise reduction on. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. And while we're out here in the middle of the hustle and bustle inside a community, why don't you join my community on Discord? It's a growing community, still small, but every person who joins is another person who can help get you the answer to the question you're looking for, or you can just connect directly to me. So check for the link for that down below. So now we're recording through the actual MoveMic receiver. It's plugged in via USB to my phone. See, I'm still talking here, and I'm just using the one microphone, so it's only actually utilizing the one there. If you have them both up, you'll see them both. You can set up a safety track when you're hooked into your camera, which we'll show in a little bit, but all of the same functionality that's in the app is available through the actual receiver itself. So you can set everything up, including the noise reduction, EQ, everything is all there. It's really easy to control via the joystick, and it's very small and out of the way. It's just mounted on the cold shoe on the clamp that I'm using for my phone, and the USB-C cable that they provide is small, so it's really out of the way. But what's more important is the really bright display on the receiver. I can clearly see what's going on. I can read everything from up to about 6-7 feet away, no problem, because of the backlit LED, and I have a clear sense of what my levels and all of that are as well. And now we're plugged directly into my mirrorless camera via the receiver using the TRS cable that came with it. The cable's coiled up bungee style, so it doesn't take up a lot of space or hang down, and it's just long enough to get between the camera and the receiver. And what's really good, you can see by the fact that I'm squinting, is that the sun is in my eyes right now an awful lot, but I can still see very clearly what's going on in the monitor. Again, thanks to the bright LED screen. And now we're hooked up via the USB directly to the computer. I've actually set up the EQ on this via the receiver, and setting up on your computer is incredibly easy when it comes to setting it up with OBS or any kind of DAW or anything like that. It just shows up as another microphone in your device list. It's going to show up under MVR. So if you've got mobile and you're in a hotel or something and you want to do a live stream, you don't have to bring a whole other microphone with you. You can just set this up. Or if you're like me, you like to do a live stream and sometimes maybe you're cooking or you're doing something else and you want to interact with people still, you can have this set up as your sole mic or just another mic that you can use when you walk away from your desk. Now, I went back and listened to all of those and I really like the sound that this tiny little microphone puts out, and the fact that you just have so many different ways of utilizing it. I really like that. One thing I didn't like is that it's a clip only to get it onto yourself. I like that most of the other wireless mic kits seem to have some kind of a magnet that you can put on the other side of your shirt and clip on. Well, the good news is this actually has one coming out for that. It's just going to be sold separately. And if I want to be upset about one thing, it's the fact that it doesn't have any separate recording that you can do. I like that I have the ability to record directly to my microphone on the other kit, so I know I have a good copy somewhere in case something goes wrong with the recording that that's going to my phone or camera. Also, I like the idea that if you were mobile and you were doing a podcast or something like that, you don't have to bring any extra equipment. You don't even need your phone. You could just each hit record on your microphones and then you can line it all up later and post. Now, I understand that these microphones are teeny tiny and to expect the ability to actually record onto them is ridiculous, but why not this? This appears to have some space. Wouldn't it be nice to at least be able to put the mix of the microphones onto one individual recording? And because this doesn't come with every single version of the MoveMic kit, you get the choice whether or not you'd want to use that or just go normal and just hook directly to your phone. Now, the last mic kit I reviewed that didn't have recording capabilities on the microphone got a really bad review from me, but that was only a part of the problem. So after I say what I'm about to say about this microphone, I don't want to hear anybody come back and go, well, you didn't like this about that microphone and you said bad things about that. There's a lot of upside to this one that really negates the downside. And we're going to go over all that right now in our review matrix. So as for design, everything's built quite solid. This is small, and yes, it is plastic, but it's very well put together. I don't feel like it's going to break at any point. I've dropped it a bunch too because I'm clumsy and I don't have feeling in these two fingers. My chiropractor's helping me with that, so prayers in chat. The mic itself has one button to rule them all, and the LEDs give you really good indication of what's going on. The snap-on windscreen is probably the easiest one to actually physically attach to your microphone, and I find it's the most sturdy. The case is really solidly built as well, plus it's super compact. I'll be honest, I would have liked to have seen this be a little bit bigger. Like, if you made this box like 30% wider, you probably could have fit all of the accessories directly into it, and then we wouldn't have needed that really big fold-up thing like chefs put their knives in. But bottom line, even that is still really compact. It could probably still fit in your pocket while keeping this and your receiver nice and secure. And while we're on the subject of the receiver, from a design standpoint, it's also really good. It's got a nice way on the cold shoe to secure tightly to your camera or whatever you're using. The controls on the front are really simple and easy to use to navigate all the menus, and the screen is awesome. It's so easy to read even from a distance. I'll hit them a little bit because the levels don't actually go into yellow and red, so you're not entirely sure when you're clipping, but overall we're going to give design a 9 out of 10. Now, functionality. This thing has all kinds of functionality and adaptability. The fact that you can set 1 or 2 microphones up, that you can hook them up either through your phone or through this receiver into your phone or into a camera, those are all great things. And if I was reviewing maybe just the MoveMic by itself without the receiver, I'd probably give it a little bit lower of a score because it's a little more limited, because it only connects directly to your phone. It wouldn't be usable with your camera or anything else. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 for functionality. Features, however, we're going to be able to go really high because you have full processing on these tiny little microphones via the phone app or via the receiver. You can set up EQ. It has excellent noise reduction and compression, everything else. But the only feature that it's missing that I really would have liked to have seen, again, compromise on this, would have been some recording. So we're going to give it an 8 out of 10 for features. For quality, it sounded really good, and from Shure I expected nothing less. The overall user experience, both in the apps and on the receiver, were excellent. And it's just so easy to use to get that quality that I got to give it a 9 out of 10. Hey there, Editor Joe here. I just wanted to add a caveat to something about the quality of the microphone. The vocal quality when you're using the noise reduction is obviously a lesser quality than when you're not. It's because there's digital stuff going on and it tends to digitize your voice a little bit. And depending on how much noise needs to be removed, that's how much it can actually impact the vocal quality. Now, that's true of any AI noise reduction that exists out there right now, but that's just a choice you have to make in the moment. Is it so noisy and distracting that you actually need to remove the noise, so then you're going to impact your quality a little bit? Or are you okay with the amount of noise, especially if you're going to play music underneath or something like that, that might help take away from the distraction? Back to review. Now, for value, this is a tricky one because it's actually 3 different options that we have. So the option that I have in front of us right now, which is the MoveMic 2 receiver kit, that's $499 US, and that's considerably more than the competition. We're talking about the Rode Wireless Pro, the DJI Mic 2, and a whole lot of other wireless mic kits. So I can't give it a super high value rating, but at the same time, you can also get cheaper options. So the MoveMic 2, which is just the microphones to be able to connect to your phone, that's going to run you $349, which matches up exactly with the DJI Mic 2. And yes, you're losing the receiver on that, but if you're only ever going to capture things on your phone, then it's probably worth it to not have the extra piece and to have a little bit more of a compact kit. And if you just want the one mic and you want a cheaper option, that's going to be $249 US. So I lean towards a lower value score, but where I bring it back just a bit is the fact that they're providing you 2 different software solutions, the Motive Audio and Motive Video apps, to be able to completely replace your receiver, and then you don't have to have something hanging off the end of your phone. Or in the case of the Rode Wireless series, strapped or somehow clipped to your phone. So that brings it up a bit, and I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10 for value. So that gives us a score of 41 out of 50 or 82%. But tell me, do you agree with those those scores, let me know down in the comments what you think about the Shure MoveMic. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I have new videos coming out. And I'm going to take this opportunity to plug one of my other channels. I have Miscast Members. That's an all Disney channel where I talk about Disney park stuff, and I've got some vlog stuff on there discussing upcoming news and all sorts of things. So go subscribe to that channel if you're interested in that. But while I've still got you here, why don't you take a look at one of these videos? There's a couple of wireless microphone kits that you can have a look at to compare. And until next time, my friends, let's get to work.